A very good afternoon to everyone. Today, I, Dr. Kritika Nagpal, on behalf of Geeta Ratna International Business School, welcome you all to this webinar
ये शेयर हो
on
गया ज्वाइन हो गया है
gender inclusivity at workplace. Geeta Ratna International Business School was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, and Government of India for technical courses, and Bar Council of India for law courses. The institute is accredited as Category A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council and assessed as Category A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee, a fee committee of Government of Entity of Delhi, and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of Entity of Delhi and Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University. The institute has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University consecutively from the past 5 years. GIBS has also been rated number 2 by Times B School Survey 2021. The institute conducts postgraduate courses of MBA, MBA International Business, and undergraduate courses of BBA, BBA LLB, BA. The institute has been conducting various programs for the overall personality development of the students. Main aim of this webinar is to make the students familiar with gender inclusivity at the workplace and to raise awareness about gender discrimination at the workplace. Throughout the webinar, participants will have the opportunity to increase their knowledge about laws and resources available at organizational, national, and international level about gender discrimination. In order to fulfill these objectives, we have our eminent speaker with us, Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur, Principal at Mata Sundri College for Women, University of Delhi. We welcome you, ma'am. Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur is a scholarly person with a generous heart. She hails from Delhi. She is working as principal at Mata Sundri College for Women, University of Delhi since November 2018. She also held the position of vice principal at Shri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce, University of Delhi. She did her PhD and MPhil from ML Sukhadia University, Udaipur with first class, MA in Political Science from ML Sukhadia University, Udaipur, holding first position and also a recipient of gold medal. It is really commendable that she was awarded the prestigious National Talent Search Examination Scholarship as well. A person of high merit and great worth has got 35 books published, 14 editorials, 41 research papers to her credit in national journals, and 31 papers at national conferences. She delivered many lectures on various themes at international conferences and also contributed to 12 international journals. Really, the list of her works is endless, as she also published 24 articles in different prestigious newspapers. Being a versatile personality, she occupied significant positions at various institutions. Appreciation letter and 17 awards added another feather to her cap. So, on behalf of GIFS fraternity, I welcome you, ma'am, and request you to kindly enlighten our students with your knowledge. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Cheetal. I'll just share my presentation first. So I begin with complimenting Geeta Ratan Institute. They are doing very well with A grade and various accolades. And of course, their placements are really very good. I went through their website and saw that it is with robust infrastructure. It has got a lot of activities time to time, and the students are getting placed. And so, it is a kind of a fulsome education they are providing to their students. So I must congratulate the management, the faculty, the dean, and all that they are doing so well. In the capital of the city, in the heart of the city, the institute is very well placed, and it's a prominent name among the students who want to pursue business uh, education. Now, the thing is, of course, this topic which is being chosen, gender inclusivity at workplace, this is very pertinent in present times. The first thing is that if I share the demographic, if I share the demographic fact, globally in 2017, the share of women in the world class was 49.6%. So the number of men and women in the entire globe is almost similar. It is roughly equal, though men hold a slightly lead with 102 men for 100 women in 2020. So the main fact is that leaving out 49.6% or percentage of the workforce or the potential workforce will not augur well with economy. So economy has to take into consideration that more and more women are there in the workforce, because if the talent of women gets wasted, then of course the economy will not progress. Of course, the other thing is that the globalization impact is visible everywhere. Globalization has brought in a lot of change, a lot of interaction among the people from the diverse backgrounds. No employee today across the world want to live and work in an insular environment. We all want that maybe our children, we should go out, interact with each other, and we want to be a part of the worldwide economy, and so that we can contribute more and more to the global framework. So all the organization, whether they are profit or non-profit, they have to become more diversified to cater to those people who are coming from diverse backgrounds. So it is not only compulsion, but also a choice that you have to accept diversity of workforce from all possible dimensions. In this process of remaining competitive, managements have to maximize and capitalize on diversity in the workforce of their own. So if we know in this world of competition, it is very important that the workforce is more and more diverse, because as such we are living in multicultural environment. You see, most of the countries of the world are multicultural, and because of the MNCs operating, this multiculturalism is increasing more and more. So the managers of the present as well as of the future, they have to know about the strategies, that how these organization change and development will come, and how this multicultural environment has to be accommodated within the framework of their concern or organization. So profit maximization is very important. Of course, as we know, as you are all part of the B school, profit lies the core of any business. But what is important is that diversity will give you an additional advantage. And these advantages we'll discuss in the due course. Now, diversity, first let me explain what diversity is. Diversity is variation in human characteristics that distinguish people from each other. All human beings are different, but with these differences, we have to thrive together, we have to live together and work together. So it is important that approach to the business regards human difference in the workplace. We cannot make everyone equal. There are so many differences, and that workplace has to be thriving with differences, and then the business will be successful. So that willingness and ability of the employees to contribute to that success is very important. So if we are working in some concern, we must be ready to accept the differences. Now, diversity may be outlined as acknowledging, understanding, accepting, and valuing variations among individuals with reference to age, class, race, ethnicity, gender, of course, physical abilities and disabilities, education in the organization's workforce. So, managing these kind of diversities pertaining to various fields mentioned just now, whether it is age, whether it is gender, ethnicity, or disability or ability, all this is a key to success. But what is workforce diversity? Workforce diversity basically it is a kind of, because there are so many similarities and dissimilarities among the employees of an organization, and workforce diversity refers to the organization that are getting a lot of heterogeneous groups, and it is a combination of individual in terms of gender, age, race, and educational background. But these differences, workforce diversity has a lot of implication on the management, because if we incorporate workforce diversity, it will nurture talent, it will nurture creativity, improve productivity, and reduce discrimination. Now, this how to manage this? It can be managed through better communication, better human relation, and congenial workforce. So, in the current scenario, diversified workforce is a necessity in every organization. But managing such a diversified workforce is also a big challenge. So, I think this is the most important thing the organizations have to tackle, that how to accommodate and manage such a diversified workforce. So, workforce diversity can be a strength for the organization if managed properly. But what are the dimensions of workforce diversity? First thing is the primary dimensions, which are age, gender, the sexual orientation, race, physical and mental abilities. These factors, these dimensions are inborn elements, and they add to what we can call as individual self-image. My image is because of my gender, my age, and people can relate to me with that, but these particular things, but these cannot be changed. For example, my age cannot be changed, and so on. And they exert an important influence on the individual's behavior. But the secondary dimensions are communication, income, ethnic customs, relationship status, health habits, religious habits, education, training, the general appearance. These can be changed also, and at least they can be modified. I can improve my communication with a little effort. I can increase my income if I do make efforts for it, and so on. So these the dimensions, which are secondary dimensions pertaining to the workforce diversity, have to be managed by the organization. So managing diversity, I repeat, is a key part of effective employee management. And companies have to adopt workforce diversity, which will significantly change its performance towards rapid growth, creating new ideas, providing suggestions, and even solving the problems. So, many of the problems, inbuilt problems, will be solved if the workforce is diversified. But what is gender diversity in the workplace? Historical efforts to promote gender diversity and inclusivity in the workplace have typically focused on efforts to hire and promote more women at a comparable rate, that these men and women are paid evenly and given the same working opportunities with equal promotions. But this is traditional. We have gone much more than hiring and promoting more women at the comparable rate, because gender diversity at a workplace is becoming a very, very broad concept. So, treating men and women equally at the workplace is known as gender diversity at workforce. This adds value to the company's bottom line, where different ideas and opinions are generated. Companies will succeed in diversity if they initiate to create, manage, and value the diversity in the terms of gender. So, this diversity pertaining to gender is very important, and gender diversity is awareness and understanding the importance of gender identity, because gender identity is the main problem in many of the societies, and because of this created gender and patriarchal lines, a lot of problems are there in the society, and as a result these problems are reflected in the management of many organizations. So basically we have to change not only the management of any organization, but also the approach in the society. So traditionally this approach was that women in the past were assigned only for temporary or part-time work, since they were not considered equal to men's performance. Now, this was a traditional approach which has been questioned and which has been negated by the modern by efforts, and we all know that there is no such comparison. But women had to struggle for their rights. It was not easy. The women got their rights only when they asked for it, and then once they started getting the political rights, the economic rights, and so on, then these are reflected now in this globalized scenario. But this unpaid care work is still a major problem because the women are working at home. But this working, if we see in the terms of what outcome it comes economically, but that is totally negated, and so that unpaid care work is still continues as a major problem. We have to carry on the domestic course, and that sharing of domestic course is not the new norm or yet in many of the countries. So, in some situations, women are likely to quit after marriage because they are unable to handle these two things, their professional space and their personal space. And sometimes, after becoming pregnant, they are solely responsible to take care of their children and family. So, these are the problems that many of the women are facing. But today, the scenario is very happily and but slightly changing, where women are also allowed to work after marriage, and not only allowed, they are they, with a lot of cooperation from the family members, these kind of changes are coming. But some common gender stereotypes are still there in the society. Stereotypes basically are perceptions about the qualities that distinguish group or categories of people. While a general stereotype exists with that men are better at navigating women, and but experimental evidence indicates that men and women differ in their spatial strategies, and this preference determines gender differences. So, the main thing is, there is this stereotype. The differences might be there in the nature, but these differences can be very well used for the management to succeed. Gender stereotypes exist within the workplace and affect the perception of male and female behavior within the organization. As females are working in a male dominated society, and their set of procedure and practices will differ. Most of the times, females face a lot of hurdles that minimize their space towards upper level. And this is very strangely that if we see the statistics world over, there are women who are working at the lower level, even at the middle level, but there are very few women who have reached the top level. So the success of an organization depends on utilization of this talent of men, male or female. The talent, we have to use the talent, whether it is of male or female, and the best out of male and female has to be utilized and properly utilized by the organizations. Sometimes we still find that women are found to be devalued in their leadership qualities to a great extent when compared to with the males. The leadership style of men is different from a women. Women are found to lead in a more interpersonal oriented way, while men are found to lead in a more task oriented way. So leadership role can be donned by men as well as women. Maybe there can be slight differences, as Johnson says that women are tackle everything more interpersonally, and managements today are talking about the problem solution in an interpersonal way. But men may be more task oriented. So these slight differences may be inborn, but leadership qualities are found in both. Stereotype is an important barrier to the women for attaining senior position today also in business. Sometimes they have to work harder than men to prove themselves. Moreover, because of their domestic course, sometimes they do not get enough time to actually reinvent themselves. For example, IT industry and many other industries requires that we need regular updating. But sometimes, because of the domestic responsibilities, this regular updating might be a problem, and that is why they have to work harder to balance their personal and professional spaces. Gender differences and perceptions of such differences play a meaningful role in maintaining the glass ceiling. Now, women are actually found to be sometimes, next, change. change. Yeah. So now what is now happening now is that we have diversity is important. That how people differ. This is a natural process. Diversities are a part and parcel of any organization of the management. Then, but we are moving towards more towards equity. Equity is fair treatment, access to opportunities, and advancement for all people. One's identity cannot predict the outcome. And more, we have to move towards inclusion. Inclusion is where variety of people have power, a voice, and a role in decision making. What is gender inclusive leadership? Inclusive leadership is basically it is learning to create spaces for different social, economic, and ideological perspectives and experiences within the workplace. Approaching these differences with empathy and understanding while building a sense of personal authenticity is important. Having more women on the corporate board and top management has seen significant returns. Overwhelming evidence to support the value of having more women in the senior leadership position is very, very evident. Gender diversity can also enhance corporate performance. Fortune 500 companies with more women on their boards tend to be more profitable. Women managers are considered to be more creative and are strong in their team building skills. Women contribute more to men in terms of profit and production. So, how to create this gender inclusive workplace? First thing is we have to create inclusive hiring process, address any gender language and practices, offer gender neutral behaviors, level the progression playing field, and encourage allyship. I'll elaborate this later. So, inclusion in the workplace examples are that create a sense of belonging and that you are belonging with your organization. Nurturing empathetic leadership. Empathy is very important. You have to try to understand the other person and try to empathize with that person. So sympathy is a negative has a negative connotation, but we have to go ahead and empathize with the leadership. Offering employees development opportunities, because sometimes men or women, regardless of the fact, development opportunities, skilling opportunities are very important, and these skilling opportunities should be provided by the management, and the employee should get access to them. Developing a collaborative environment where we are collaborating with various stakeholders to solve the problems and to go ahead and take certain proactive measures and make sure that your employees feel valued. So that dignity is very important. Dignity of each has to be realized. Invest in educating leaders, because leaders have to update themselves, their skills, their interpersonal skills, and so on. So it is very, very important that leaders are educated. If leaders are not educated, then of course there will be a lot of problems in the society, so or in the concern. So creating two-way communication channels is very important. The top management reaching to the lowest tier, and the lowest tier has the communication channel where they can reach to the highest one also. So 5 ways to create a gender inclusive workplace is: promote non-discrimination policies. So those kind of policies which are creating discriminating grounds, whether it is gender expression or identity or performance, it is impacting them. Those policies should be really shunned. Then update language on forms and document. So whatever we are writing has a connotation. So just these kind of things which are creating a gender based kind of environment, that should be, and those things should not be considered as, and the language should be that everyone is comfortable. So gender inclusive language is very important. So now moving from chairman to chairperson, this kind of connotation is very important, because these sometimes pronouns, using pronouns in the meeting when being introduced to new people, they create a lot of respect or disrespect. So we have to see that this kind of pronouns which are being used are actually catering to the dignity of their employees, and creating the and giving them due respect. Then a gender inclusive dress code is equally important, where we are not having specific dress code, but which is inclusive dress code, and offer gender neutral restrooms. Those kind of facilities of infrastructure has to be created, so that inclusive workplace environment is there for all. Now, gender inclusive workplaces can be reached after developing an inclusive and bias-free hiring process. So, hiring process should be such that while wording job description, shortlisting candidates, and training them. So, in all this, that we are free from any bias which is targeting any gender. Recruitment ads and career web pages must be designed to reflect the organization's vision of embracing gender inclusivity while hiring managers. Walk the talk is very important. That is, you have to highlight your organization's stance on an inclusive and gender neutral workplace. Your organization might be doing enough, but sometimes it is very important to highlight it also, not only internally but also externally. So, in all the communication, whether it is internal or external, these things have to be highlighted. Now, rigorous enforcement of policies. Policies are there, well in place in most of the organizations, and but implementation should be very very strict, and zero tolerance policies for workplace discrimination and harassment should be there. We have also to design an inclusive physical workspace. Like I said, it should be gender friendly restrooms, special office spaces where we have enough space for the expecting and nursing mothers, and also ensures a last mile, that that workplace are designed in such a manner that everybody is comfortable. Then also that we have to turn leaders into change agents. This is very important because we always look towards our leaders. Leaders can be in the political domain, they can be in the management domain, they can be in our own professional workspace, but we have to act as role models and driving healthy interpersonal dynamics. Another thing is the management has to focus on equal opportunity and transparency in all the processes. Then it is also important to address not only the blatant prejudices, but also there are certain subtle biases that hinder inclusivity, because prejudices are very well clear and we have certain solutions to that because the things are very very clear, but the subtle biases sometimes create a lot of problem, but the management has to work on those as well. Providing parental benefits, privileges to men as well as women, enabling flexibility and pay parity to help women to overcome motherhood penalty. For example, GenPact has this returning moms program where they offer daycare assistance and flexi working schedules. So, thoughtfully reworking policies can also promote desired behavior and equal play and level playing field for all. So, encouraging men also to adopt flexi working practices to handle with the childcare can also give a boost to the female career progression. So it is very important that not only that women are getting these flexi hours, even men, if required, or even the fathers are getting, so that females get due time and their career can progress. Then inclusive training and development is also very important. This gender diversity training helps the employee to understand how gender inclusivity can positively impact workplace dynamics, including better team and client relationship. Periodic development intervention and coaching helps everyone to work to build the right mindset. Main problem is of the mindset, and we have to create the right mindset And so intervention sometimes creates this right mindset, because X and Y, some might have some problem with their thinking because of many reasons, psychological reasons behind it. But if timely intervention is there, and they are being coached, and sensitivity to the effective workplace is and effective gender roles is created, then these co-worker relationship will be very cordial. Gender pronouns, as I said, have to promote inclusivity. Then sometimes there are certain pronouns that are so much part of our conversation, but they in a way affirm identity in every interaction. So carefully choosing words is very important, because what you say is going to show respect or disrespect to your co-workers. So correct pronouns raise the person's self-esteem. If they are correct words are used, then of course the self-esteem enhances. There are 9 ways how organization can create more diverse and inclusive workplaces. So if I start with an inclusive core values, these inclusive core values of the company are filtering down to the lowest level. They start from the top management maybe, but they are part and parcel of working of all the employees till the last level. Showcase your people. You must understand if there is diversity, gender diversity, showcase that, and also capitalize on it. Seek feedback and measure progress. If there are certain problems in the management functioning, then of course feedback is very important, because feedback is going to help us to change certain things. Build community measures create a kind of a confidence. They are also confidence building measures. So community building exercise it creates and facilitates the working in any concern. Let the why inform your efforts. So why you have the kind of reason behind everything should be very clear. Stop looking for a cultural fit, because that one specific cultural fit is impossible to achieve. We have to respect other cultures and try to fit in that, and try to be flexible. Don't dismiss the employee feelings. Champion life flexibility, because there are certain stages in life which are important, and we cannot deny their importance. Like I said, during pregnancy, or later during the initial years of the child. So that flexibility of working is, if the flexibility of work is given to women, then of course a lot of things can improve. Then educate your employees. They should be educated about the various problems. So benefits of implementing well thought out diversity and gender inclusive environment and inclusive action plan. So we have to make it a plan. In that inclusion action plan, has to be part and parcel of the strategic management. Strategic management which is taking into consideration the past, the present, as well as the future. So that should be a part and parcel of the strategy of any particular organization. And these are that you have to make workplace more welcoming, and if then better financial performance would be there. If diversity is accepted, then we'll get access to a wider talent pool. As I said, it is almost 50% of the women, and we cannot ignore that 50%, the potential workforce, and the companies will get a lot of choice. We pick up talented people irrespective of their gender. Then improved employee retention, because diversity is there in the fold, and so employees will have a congenial work atmosphere, and working in congenial atmosphere, employees will retain and will not leave. Then the companies with good gender diversity program and inclusive cultures are able to create balanced and positive workplace. Increased customer base is also there. If the company is customer based and they need more and more customers, then gaining the ability to cater to a large customer base, because there are women in the fold, there is diversity in the as a part and parcel, and so you can understand the diverse customers who are approaching you. enhanced workplace collaboration and responsiveness. Responsiveness, and that you are responsive. If there is certain a problem which is there, which you are foreseeing a certain problem, you become responsive to it. You collaborate to solve the problem, and social sensitivity is catered to, because every place has own sensitivities, and those sensitivities has to be respected and has to be a part and parcel of the organization. If leveraged right, gender diversity can benefit just not the female, but all the employees, including the male employees. Multiple perspectives sparks novel thinking, because all, maybe the men, women, and all type of diverse workforce, they think not alike. There are differences of their thinking, and these perspectives can spark novel thinking, which is and more and more innovative ideas will come. The workplace will be more happier and more productive. Another benefit can be that diversity is not a choice or an option, but it is a must. And so that is why, because it will lead to conflict resolution, it will spark innovation, present services and products in a better way, and gender diversity will attract and retain talented women that comprise 50% of the potential workforce. Now, McKinsey says that companies that have more gender diversities are 21% more likely to experience above average profitability, and companies with more culturally and ethnically diverse executive teams are 33% more likely to see better than average profits. So companies with gender diverse management teams they are consistently performing better. They are more profitable than many others. There are many companies which we can say that they are examples of diverse and inclusive companies. For example, Johnson and Johnson, a global medical devices, pharmaceutical and consumer good companies. It has detailed a diversity and inclusion vision that aims to maximize the global power of diversity and inclusion to drive superior business results and sustainable competitive advantage. Johnson and Johnson is accomplishing this through the employee resource groups, mentoring programs, and incorporation of diversity and inclusion initiatives into companies' everyday work. Now, Johnson is making a point to incorporate diverse voices, and they have come up with this unstereotyped alliance. So they are breaking the new grounds and providing gender imbalance in advertising. So because gender imbalance in advertising is very much visible. I remember, I think it was 25 years back when this refrigerator ad came, where the woman is walking in, and the men and children are preparing for her birthday, and the woman is walking in late, and they are celebrating her birthday. Was a groundbreaking ad which was breaking these female stereotypes, which was accepting that women are also working, and this acceptability and is there in the family. So that groundbreaking ad which came, I think, 25 years back is still a kind of a groundbreaking ad. So these stereotypes have to be broken in the advertising field. Then Mastercard has been ranked as top 10 for diversity for 4 consecutive years. And now what they are doing is they are using technology for social good, sponsoring Girls for Tech, a STEM curriculum that provides mentorships and career support to the girls from age 8 to 12. Mastercard also offers practical direct employee benefits, and so even they are also supporting the same-sex domestic partner coverage. Then General Motors, for example, is also offers a heartening example, and they are voted as world's best company in terms of gender equality. This is the only company which had a female CEO also, and they have equal number of men and women, and they are taking lead in offering flexible work options, clear policies on sexual discrimination, and also implementing pay equalities at all levels. L'Oreal, for example, is also another notable company with standing commitment to multicultural diversities, because L'Oreal as such has a presence in over 130 countries on the 5 continents. This company holds a global initiative for bettering its communities, such as disability awareness workshop, multicultural mentorship programs, job training to vulnerable young populations, and has commitment to gender equality with 69% of its workforce made up of women. So L'Oreal achieves this by having a detailed diversity and inclusion strategy that company implements at locations around the world. And these positive changes are seen everywhere in the community, and they are elevating the women into the company across the company. Lenovo again, they accept that different is better, and when they are having this tagline of different is better, they are also supporting LGTB community, and they are coming up with these different benefits also. And so progressive and inclusive policies which are attracting talent, and they give a kind of a positive atmosphere, and they enthuse the employees to work. So what is required is for diversity and gender inclusion. In very short, I can sum up that the company should communicate diversity, that you are catering to diversity, that diversity should be there in part and parcel of in all the company's endeavors. It should be communicated outside also, and in the internal communication as well as external communication, so that communicating diversity at all levels is very important. Second thing is we have to cultivate diversity. Cultivating diversity in the organization climate, which is linked to business strategy like recruitment, selection, placement, succession, performance appraisal, reward system. So in all these, the gender diversity should be cultivated. We have to cultivate it. The companies have to cultivate it and then disseminate and then capitalize on diversity. Once you are communicating diversity, cultivating in all the operations of the company, in all the functioning of the company, then those companies can capitalize on diversity, and those companies are progressive, and of course they will be more acceptable by the by the people of the world, and more employees will come into your fold. So with these words, I really want to say that gender inclusivity is the norm which cannot be ignored or undermined at any cost, at any level, and it has to be part and parcel of all the operations, of all the functioning, and mainly the strategic planning of any organization. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for throwing light on the significant topic of gender discrimination and enriching our students' knowledge. Thanks for being with us. So, on behalf of Geeta Ratna International Business School, I feel honored to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event happen. I consider it as a great privilege to thank our honorable chief guest, management, faculty, students, and everyone gathered here who have witnessed it as a memorable and successful event. I extend my hearty vote of thanks to our today's chief guest, Professor Dr. Harpreet Kaur, for sparing the time from her busy schedule and gracing the event with her thought-provoking address, setting a perfect platform for our students. Thank you so much, ma'am. Further, on behalf of Geeta Ratna International Business School, I would like to thank our worthy Vice Chairman, Sir, Mr. Anirudh Jindal, and our respected Director, Dr. Hanuman Sharma, for motivating us to conduct such an informative webinar. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated faculty, especially the event coordinators, Dr. Sheetal Chadda and and Dr. Neelam Singh to organize such an illuminative event. I cannot thank everyone for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. So, thank you, team. Last but not the least, I thank all the students and participants for showing their interest to attend this event and participate enthusiastically. Thank you so much, everyone. All the students are requested to please fill up their feedback forms from the chat box. Thank you so much.